Good, good. OTA is one of the things that we're going to be talking about during this whole forum and some other opportunities. So just want to make sure you just write that down in your mental Rolodex, and as we move forward, we're going to be telling you some more about it. But right now, we're going to talk about identifying your institution's core capabilities or core competencies, however you want to look at it. So with that, we're going to jump right in. I'm going to start out talking about the elephant in the room. How many of your institutions are experiencing a new climate when it comes to the economy? By show of hands. Show of hands. A new climate. Huh? It's the elephant in the room. Nobody wants to talk about it. But isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing that while the rest of the world is on an economic downturn, the federal government is giving out money at alarming rates? Is that what you're experiencing at your institutions? Absolutely, absolutely. So what we're going to be talking about during this whole presentation is how you can use your core competencies to get more than money, okay? So there we go. So as we move forward, we're going to talk about getting more money utilizing your core competencies. So you have to identify them first. Golden ticket. How many people in here have received grants or awards from UNCF, SP, or other agencies? Show of hands. Pretty good crowd, so I can move fast forward from there. My question is, how did you do it? Do you really know how you did it? I remember when our vice president came to us and started talking to us about how did we do what we did. And we said, because we're good. He said, okay, I understand that you're good, but what do you mean by you're good? I said, we're good because they say we're good. All right? He said, well, I need a little more than that. I need a little meat for the bones. And so what he was getting us to was these three things here: personnel, processes, and infrastructure. Competencies. What are your core competencies? Now, as I've been administering the SEPA grants, I've been able to see what was going on at the institutions and the competencies that they had at the institutions or the capabilities that they had at the institutions. But I'm really curious to know whether you really see them in yourself, whether you really understand how powerful you truly are and how you know that you're really poised to take advantage of this time. Personnel. Who do you have on staff? Who do you have at your disposal that you can utilize, that you can leverage so that you can move towards sustainability? Who do you have on your staff that you're able to just take advantage of their knowledge, take advantage of their background, go after federal funding? Well, I'm going to give you a few examples. Lee Snap. Lee Snap is a NASA employee from NASA Johnson. Lee Snap went to Salish Kootenai in Montana because his goal was to start an engineering program at a tribal college. So Salish Kootenai utilized Lee Snap's background at NASA and his knowledge. Eventually, they made him a dean of engineering at their school. But not only did Lee Snap do that at that tribal college, he started a consortium among 11 tribal colleges across the country. Now, wouldn't you say that's a core competency? Absolutely. How many of those people do you have on your campus? Scott Askew, another NASA employee from NASA Johnson. Started out at Salish Kootenai, kind of wanted to further what was going on with Lee Snap, moved from Salish Kootenai over to Albuquerque, New Mexico, to SIPI. Now, NASA just did a write-up on Scott Askew because Scott Askew actually worked with SIPI to pull together the largest group of Native American engineers and engineering technology students ever to go to a NASA center to do training and presentations. Do you have a Scott Askew at your institution? Do you take advantage of it? Paul Reset, NASA Goddard. What Paul Reset did was he went into Lawrence, Kansas, to Haskell Indian Nations. He sat down with the group there. He said, hey, SEPA has a grant coming out. Why don't you apply? And I'm sitting here. I have NASA experience, and I'll help you. And so they took advantage of what Scott Askew did. And Scott Askew helped them to write a successful proposal, and they was funded in our round 2, SEPA 2. Do you have a Paul Reset at your disposal? Now, I guess y'all saying right now, well, nobody's from NASA at my institution. So I got someone else for you, Dr. J.J. Lowell. She's at Texas Southern University. Professor, she actually went to a NASA center and got experience doing research at a NASA center. Came back to Texas Southern University, took some funding back from NASA to Texas Southern University. They have a research institute funded by NASA. How many Dr. J.J. Lowells do you have at your institution? Are you one? Have you uncovered that capability at your institution? Is that one of your competencies? Okay, personnel, you want to talk about personnel? How about we talk about processes? Core competencies is all about processes as well. What do you do great at your institution? What kind of processes do you go through at your institution that no one around you goes through? How do you utilize those processes to further what you're trying?